first of all, there are still diesel reliance. Secondly, it's very costly in the Ring of Fire region. As you know, it's all brought largely it's air-based transportation. It is cost prohibitive. Now the industry up there and the First Nation have made it work, but this is not an acceptable reality. And that's why we are, I think, motivated to build transmission capacity, to electrify, to displace dirty energy, to bring clean power, and to leverage localized power sources like hydro. It's extremely expensive.
Yeah. Especially if you got to,
and it means
like Webuco is telling me they got to fly it in because they can only last about 11 months now.
But the reason why I talk about cost is not because I'm negating the importance of health and air quality and the quality of life of the individuals who live very close to these generators. It's not good. It's that the money crowds out investment that otherwise could be going to places that are urgently needed, like, for example, addictions or education or health. And I think that's what frustrates the chiefs. It's like, I need those dollars for things that actually are going to help save a life, not just keep power on. So, but the Wate line is, I think, a very impressive case study of how to do it at scale.
Yeah.
It's the largest Indigenous-led transmission project ever.
Is most of the power going to be coming from the south, like brought up to the Ring of Fire?
I anticipate that more generation in the north will allow us to move northern power to northern communities.
Okay.
But keep in mind, the massive investment we're making from Sudbury to Barrie, that line, will enable north-south energy flow based on need.
Okay, so that line itself will help expansion.
It can.
In other parts of the
It can, but the preference, frankly, the more economical option is produce power in the north. It is a more economic investment. And it's not just about the north. I would use the same principle in any part of Ontario.
Okay.
You know, like, transmission is a necessity to connect the dots. But, you know, building a massive transmission line, it can be expensive. And so our preference is, yes, to strengthen our KV capacity and move power east, west, north, south, but to generate power in the regions it's needed, which is why we're saying yes for the first time to two Indigenous-led, first time to do any Innu hydro in the north, and why we have put incentives to move clean energy generation in Northern Ontario through the largest public procurement in Canadian history. That is going to see a massive chunk of investment move to the north. I think the message Northerners should take away is that the government is serious about finding a way forward. In partnership, yes, but finding a way forward to build and electrify the north and displace dirty power from diesel with clean power, often that's hydroelectric or nuclear. The baseload power that comes from hydroelectricity and nuclear, and I think that's a good outcome for the north, and I think it's a good signal. Obviously, the ISO has more work to do on the business case, but as a matter of public policy, the government is committed to this, and we said we will work to end diesel reliance in Ontario. And I think we have demonstrated with an aggressive posture we're making progress. And when Wate is a case study where 16 communities are now on the grid.
We did an upgrade not too long ago,
Okay.
because we were at the peak of usage, so we did an upgrade. But we are starting to reach that peak again,
Oh, are you? Okay.
Yeah, because we've been doing houses every year.
So what all comes in on the winter road? Does the diesel comes in too?
Yeah, there was a delay when we were doing that upgrade, a 1 year delay. Because that year when they were trying to bring in that diesel, the generator, the winter road didn't work out.
Was that in the last couple of years? We've had a couple of warm winters,
So maybe we have to wait another year before they can bring it,
It's crazy that if you miss the window, you got to wait a whole year,
That's right. That's what happened.
You know, it's very concerning the way we live in this country. You know, where is the clean energy? Where is the climate change protection?
Well, you guys are feeling it more than we're feeling it in the south, right? It's like climate change is affecting the north much quicker than down here.
Well, it is, because we see it. We see it every day.
Is that another thing? Like you would like to get off diesel at some point?
Well, it has to come from the community decision, because we have a collective decisions in our community. You know, that transition line that's been talked about coming from down south.
Yeah, that's been talked about for a while, right?
It's been talking for a while, but the communities are not going to benefit. They're still going to pay the price of high cost of living.